This is the Warm Down Show sponsored by Arena here in Indianapolis at the USA Nationals World Championship Trials. I'm Tiffany Elias, joined by Jeff Commings. Jeff, let's go ahead and recap night number one. It was a great night, a lot of surprising and great swims to be expected. Let's start off with the 200 butterfly. Camille Adams, I think she was the one to beat here, 2:08 for first, and Maya Dorado also making the team with a 2:09.1.
Yeah, everybody was expecting Camille to get the win. I think the time was a little bit slower than I think everyone was expecting. She went 2:06 to win Olympic trials, and I think everybody was really hoping to see something that would put her near the top of the world rankings to give us confidence that the 200 fly is something that we're getting better at. Still going to be a lot of work to do for Camille, and then just for Maya Dorado, just what a fantastic swim. I mean, never really doing the 200 fly ever at a nationals, and then all of a sudden she's making the world championship team. Just got to be a big boost for her, and I think it's really exciting. Everybody's going to be looking for her now in those IMs.
Well, that's what's interesting with the 200 fly is that we had a lot of swimmers that really aren't predominantly butterflyers. You saw Becca Mann in there, Elizabeth Beisel scratched this morning, Caitlin Lovrens was in the top 8. What does that say for the depth in our 200 fly?
Well, it says that, you know, we've got some versatility in our field, but yeah, we need someone who can specialize in the 200 fly. Like on the men's side, we've got a lot of male 200 flyers. People you look at and say they are 200 flyers, but Camille's really the only one, and now I guess Maya Dorado, but everybody else we're looking at is like 200 flies are maybe their third event, and you know, we need somebody to really step up and say, I'm going to own the 200 fly.
All right, well, on the guy side, it was a great swim for Tom Lushinger. I believe a 2.5 time drop for him. He was able to outtouch Tyler Clary. Tom Shields with the opening speed, blazing first 50, but then he fell off. But what about Tom's swim? That was unbelievable.
Unbelievable swim. And this is one of the cases where he's on the World University Games team, and a lot of those swimmers are coming to this meet. Some of them are just using it for racing and just to get some experience before they go over to Russia. Some of them, like Tom, are like, maybe I can get a promotion and get up to the World Championship team, and he did that. I was a little surprised that he was able to hold off people like Tyler Clary, who just can come home like anybody else. Just had to be a lot of confidence for him to turn off that 150 wall and see he's ahead. And a big boost for him and Rich DeSelm in North Carolina, because Tom is really, everybody has probably known of him, but never really as someone who could challenge for a win. And I think it's going to really bode for good things for him in the future.
Do you think Tyler Clary was anywhere near his peak?
It's hard to say. I think we'll see tomorrow in the 200 backstroke. I think he's got to be at his peak at this meet because of the 200 backstroke, where it's going to be a loaded field, and he can't rest on his laurels and just kind of coast through this meet to get on the team in the 200 backstroke. Maybe he's thinking, I'll kind of just do a mini taper, and if I don't make the team in the 200 back, I've still got the IMs to get through. So we'll just have to see tomorrow that 200 back. Again, like Camille, it wasn't the time I thought Tyler would do, so maybe he's not fully rested.
All right, well, the swims of the night, or the most anticipated races, those came from the 100 freestyle. Stacked heats on both the men and women's side. For the ladies, Missy Franklin does it again. She was a 53.43 with a new meet record. Shannon Vreeland for second.
Could not believe that. Shannon, who's known mostly for her 200 and 400 meter freestyles, stepping up to do the 100 free. This is something they've been doing at Georgia. I mean, Megan Romano has been mostly known as a 200 freestyler, and she's really been stepping down to the 100. And you kind of expected to see Megan get in that top 4, but to see Shannon Vreeland get second and now be one of the 2 people swimming the individual event, she's going to be just wondering where that all came from. And it's not a fluke. I mean, she's been doing very well since the Olympics, where she swam on the 800 free relay. But yeah, one of the most surprising swims was her and Simone Manuel. I mean, 16 years old, and now she's on the World Championship team. I mean, it is maybe unfair to compare her to Missy Franklin, but I mean, this is Missy was kind of 16 years old when she started to make herself known to the world. So, you know, it's not out of the realm of possibility that now Simone Manuel is going to be doing that. And I wrote about her. I said Simone is one of those 4 people you need to watch at this meet, because I think I really had a feeling, the way I was watching her at the Grand Prix series, that she was going to have a good breakout meet during her taper, and it was a nice surprise to see that.
You had the chance to talk to her after. Did she have anything special to say? What was her reaction?
She was just, I could tell she was on cloud 9, and I think she just kind of is really just excited to have been able to be in that final. And just to, you know, she didn't think about the fact that she's swimming with Missy Franklin, Natalie Coughlin, Jessica Hardy, all those people. She just wanted to go out there and race. And I think that when you go in there with that mindset, incredible things can happen. I mean, it's happened before in a lot of races where, you know, somebody, especially in the 100 free, where they just put it all out on the line, and that last 50, you're looking and there they are on the outside. You're looking at someone else, and there they are on the outside, and Simone gets third. It was just one of those swims you just can't believe happened, and I'm sure she's going to be a really happy girl tonight.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Well, on the men's side, if you didn't think the ladies was packed, the men was 7 Olympians plus another 16-year-old. Nathan Adrian, of course, he was the one to beat again here. 48-1, a little bit slower than I think what some of us here on the pool deck were hoping to see. But coming in second was Jimmy Fegan with a phenomenal swim, and then Anthony Irvin got third.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Anthony Irvin first, out in 22:38, which, you know, that's just crazy fast. I mean, most people say that you want to be out a second slower than your actual 50 time. At the 100, in the 100. So that's kind of saying maybe he's going to go 21.3, but he goes out, I think, 50 speed and just kind of hopes he holds on. And he was lucky to get third, I think, because I could really see 5 pianos falling on him at once at the 75, and Jimmy went by him. I thought Ryan Lochte was going to go by him. I thought maybe Ricky Behrens was going to have something, but I think he just went out too fast for everybody to catch him. But I think there's a lot that he needs to do, because he can't do that on a relay and get overexcited, and you know, because it's really going to wear him down.
Moving on to the distance events on the ladies' side, it was Katie Ledecky from start to finish, but Chloe Sutton with a really close to her throughout the majority of that race. I don't think Katie Ledecky was going to let Chloe pass her at the end, even though a couple people were hoping for that. And then Jillian Ryan in for third, but an 8:22 for Ledecky.
And an 8:23 for Chloe Sutton. I think that's her lifetime best, so she's got to be really happy about that. I know she wasn't happy that she didn't make the Olympic team in the 800, so I'm sure this whole past year she's been thinking, what do I need to do to get in this 800? And to go, she knew she'd have to go something in the low 820s. She probably was surprised she was so close to Katie. I think a lot of people were surprised Katie only went 8:22. But I think kind of in the same vein that Nathan is, she's not in her full capacity yet. So, you know, we know that she's capable of much more, and I think a lot of people were talking about maybe she's going to break the world record in the 800 at this meet, and I think the fact that she went 8:22 says that she's just waiting for that big moment on the world stage to do that.
All right, before we move on to the guys, Becca Mann's already qualified for the team in the open water. She swam the 200 fly to start the meet, but she was nowhere in this race. What do you think was happening there?
I was kind of surprised by that, because we saw her, especially at that Grand Prix meet in Orlando, step up. I think she did the 1500 and then like the 200 fly back to back with like less than 6 minutes rest, and did really well. So I'm not sure what was going on with there. Maybe there's a little bit of illness, because I even expected her 200 fly to be a little bit better. So we'll just have to see how it pans out the rest of the meet.
All right, moving on to the last individual event of the night was the men's 1500 freestyle. Connor Jaeger led the way. Michael McBroom with him for a little bit in the up till the middle, and then fell off slightly. But 14:53 for Connor, 14:59 for McBroom.
Very good swim for Connor, I think. You know, it's hard to swim a mile if you're not in peak shape, and I think he too is not in peak shape. I think, you know, it's hard to be a distance swimmer and taper twice. So these distance swimmers, it's a calculated risk, but I think with Connor, I think he knew that he has kind of gotten so far ahead of the rest of the field in the United States that he can take that risk. It might not pay off if he wants to get a spot on the 800 free relay, because he's going to have to be at his best to get into that final even, but I don't think he's really concerned about that. I think he knows that the mile and the 400 and even the 800 is something he needs to be concerned about. And I'm really happy for Michael McBroom. He's on the World Championship team. I believe it's his first time under 15 minutes. Great swim for him. It was a mirror of what they did in NCAA's. Connor and Michael together for about half the race, and then Connor just takes off and Michael just hangs on. I mean, I even thought that the rest of the field was going to track him down. He looked like, I could see his back was just bright red. I mean, he was really tired, but a great effort.
All right, so those were the individual races of the night. Jeff, how would you summarize night number one, or what was your swim of the night?
Well, my swim of the night was Simone Manuel. Just to see a 16-year-old go 53 is pretty spectacular. That's really spectacular. I believe it's her. She had the national age group record, so she broke that, shattered it. I think it just bodes a lot of great things about what she's been doing over the years, because I mean, it's the same thing we talked about with Leah Neal. I mean, Missy and Leah and Simone in a way were all kind of these hopefuls back in 2009 as people that we should be looking out for. And then Missy takes off, Leah took off last year, and now this is Simone's year to really take off. And I'm really proud that Simone didn't kind of just, you know, feel dejected that everybody else is progressing ahead of her. She just kept putting in the work, and now it's paying off, and she's going to be on that 400 free relay.
Well, tonight I agree with you. That was my swim of the night. All the winners, those were to be expected. Jimmy Fegan, I might be a close second. Yeah. But make sure to tune in to swimmingworld.tv. Find all the articles on swimmingworld.com, interviews posted with Jeff, with the other athletes on the event landing page. You can find us again here tomorrow for the Day 2 warm down show. I'm Tiffany Elias for Jeff Cummings, and we'll see you then.